Hi, I'm Beverly. If you clicked on this video, I'm going to take a wild guess and say you're probably worried about being broke. Or you might want to make sure you never become broke and you want to watch this. They're both good reasons, and I'm glad you're here. I'm going to cover three spending traps that people fall into. They're very common and they really sneak up on you. And then I'm going to give you a quick fix for each one. Sometimes just becoming aware of the type of things you're spending money on can be the first step toward getting back to financial freedom. First, let's talk about a type of spending trap that goes by many, many different names. The very first spending trap happens to everyone at some point in their life. It's called lifestyle creep. It comes by many other names too, such as lifestyle inflation, conspicuous consumption, keeping up with the Joneses, or in this case, keeping up with the virtual Joneses. On social media, we see all of these people that look rich. I have some news for you though. Most of those people are not only not rich, but they're in debt up to their eyeballs because they're doing the same thing that you are. Just focus on yourself and your own finances. The way to stop lifestyle creep is to get your ego out of the way and just focus on what makes you happy. I will tell you something that took me my entire life to learn. Other people do not care how much money you have, what type of car you drive, where you go on vacation. They're too busy worrying what you think about them. So you can be ahead of everybody if you just start focusing on yourself and do not give one flying flip about what anybody thinks about the car you drive. When I was in my 20s, the very first time I got a big raise, I got a new car. Okay. And I also got an expensive health club membership that I didn't need. When I realized what I was doing, my fix was to downsize several expenses. I was able to get rid of my fancy gym membership and I just started going to a local gym. I used to run for free on a river trail near where I lived at the time. So have a chat with your ego and just kick it out of the way. Take care of yourself and your money. Next, I'm going to talk about another spending trap that I just fell head over heels into many years ago. Kind of a funny story. It wasn't funny then, though. Let's take a look at spending trap number two. This is where you live like there's no tomorrow. You're either making up for lost time, maybe you had a bad childhood or you were in a bad marriage and now you suddenly feel free. This one can sneak up on anybody. But the thing is, it makes you get into debt. I once went on a cruise to the Mexican Caribbean when I had 10 cents in my checking account. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. I'd gotten out of a bad marriage and in my childhood, we didn't have a lot of money. So I pretty much just lived like there was no tomorrow. I carpe diemed the hell out of every day. And that gets you into debt. It really does. So when I realized I was doing that, my fix was to cancel fancy vacations and sell my car. And then I also started vacationing with friends in Panama City, Florida. Quite a downsize, but, I was so much happier. I had money to go out with friends and to entertain people in my home. It was just such a relief to be off that treadmill. And it is a treadmill. So take a look if that's what you're doing, because sometimes you just need to look reality in the face and realize maybe I need to get my money under control and I can live like there's no tomorrow later when I have a lot of it. Next, we're going to talk about something that I think will surprise you, especially if you've been so focused on spending and you don't know what went wrong. If you've been very focused on the spending side of the budget equation and you've been tracking your expenses, you never carry a credit card balance, and you're still broke, you might be wondering what the heck is happening here. It could be that you're not paying enough attention to the other side of the equation, which is the income side. That's a common mistake. You get so focused on spending less than you make, which is really the foundation for every personal finance article ever written. But if you don't focus on increasing your income, you're going to end up a little on the short side in terms of cash. We have in this country at least 2% inflation every year. So I put together this handy chart so you can see how the inflation rate influences prices. In February 2024, there was an inflation rate of 3.2%. So that means prices increased 3.2% during the previous year. February 2025, the inflation rate actually went down to 2.8%, and that's fabulous news. However, you see that prices didn't go down, they still went up. They went up 2.8%. So they went up at a slower rate, but since price increases are cumulative over the years, the high inflation rate of the past few years is one reason why prices are so high. Now, if your income doesn't increase yearly above the rate of inflation, you're going to have trouble keeping up. It's going to mean that your dollars are worth less. And that's why staying on top of your income and getting regular raises, whether it's through getting a new job or a side hustle, is so important. And if you go longer into your career without getting market value, it's hard to catch up. That doesn't mean if you're in your 50s and 60s, you can't catch up right now. But I want everybody to know what their market worth is for their skill set, their education level, their years of experience. All of this is something for you to be very proud of, whether you work for a corporation or you're self employed. I want you to get your worth. If you work for a corporation, ask for a raise. They won't give you a raise. Leave the company, go somewhere else. It's not starting over, it's moving up. So think about that. And that's an important part of the budget equation. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you do see yourself in some of these traps, you are not alone. A recent Lending Club survey showed that 62% live paycheck to paycheck, and 45% make over $100,000 a year and still live paycheck to paycheck. So you are not alone, and you can get yourself out of these traps. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a like and a comment. I do respond. And if you have any traps you've gotten out of and any tips you'd like to share, please put it below in the comments. I'd love to read them. I will look forward to seeing you next time.